Hi there, my name is John Stevens. I'm pastor of Zion Lutheran Church in Oregon City, Oregon, and we're part of the ELCA, and welcome to Dollar Store Children's Sermons, where we take a look at the lectionary texts and we tie them, you know the drill, we tie them somewhere. Anyway, there we are. We tie them to an item either from the Dollar Tree or the garage or the kids' room or the junk drawer. All right, today is for the 18th Sunday after Pentecost. It's the first Sunday in October, and we are doing it, my friends. And I really appreciate you coming along with me in your partnership in this ministry. And and so it's good. So the springboard for this, these texts, even now, they are hard texts for a children's sermon. And so it's like, what am I going to do? And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to teach you a magic trick. Yeah, and that's really, when I look at this is text about restoration, about the psalm talks about, the vine being restored, this image of the vineyard and all of this, and I look at it and it's like the kingdom of heaven is like a vineyard, and I started thinking it's like, Christ is the vine, we are the branches. I mean, all of this restoration kind of imagery. The gospel lesson for a kid's sermon, I'm working in the cracks. I'm working through the aisles of the vines, I'm working, and so I'm looking at magic trick using a rope or a piece of twine. And the piece of twine, and this might be something you have around the house. This is our gardening twine, but I like it because it's green. It's vine. That reminds me of the vine that rhymes. I don't know. It's been a long week. It's been a long morning. This is the second time I've recorded this because I don't know if I forgot to hit record when I started. I know that you know nothing about that as we're doing all of these things online, or many of us are doing all of these things online. So here we are. I'm going to show you the trick, and then I'm going to teach it to you. I'm going to teach it using a rope, but I'm also going to show you with this twine. And there's not a subtlety. There's an additional thing that I need to show you with the vine, with the twine. I make a joke and then I keep on it. So with the twine, there's a different. I'll show you when we get there. So place that there. Now this is not necessarily exactly the children's sermon I'll do, but I will record one using this and post it on the dskidsermons.com, where you can use it and plug it into your service if you need that. And more than welcome to do that. I just ask that you give credit, but we know that. But so here we are. So there are times in life where we mess up. There are times where things will happen, and it feels like there's, when I mess up, I feel like I have a knot in my stomach, and life or relationships seem to get severed, cut, where and then there are these knots there, and it doesn't happen just once. I mean, sometimes, sadly, I don't learn. I mean, I don't know if you know anything about that, where you've done it again. I fought with my brother last week, and I did it again. And, just those things where things happen, and we just look at all the things that are going around, and it's hard stuff. We have things in our life that remind us, when I said, I'm not going to do that, or you're not the boss of me. Those things where we mess up. And it's either we mess up in our families, or sometimes, not sometimes, a lot of times, I mess up and I sin with God and I. And that's in my life where things are not all together. I might try to convince myself. I might lie and say, oh, I am okay. Everything's all together and perfectly fine. I mean, they're tied together, aren't they? That should be good enough. Well, the thing is that God, through Jesus Christ, through that connection that we have through the cross and the resurrection, the empty tomb, that thing we celebrate on Easter, every Sunday when we talk about God's grace and communion and all of those things together, we have a God that promises that promises to forgive us, we use this word restore us, which means get rid of all of the hurt and the pain, to forgive us and to love us. And so that God can take these places that have severed the two, like there's relationship with my brother and me, or maybe God and me, and God comes in and gets rid of it, heals it, restores it, as we say. And again, we've got one over here. And again, through the Spirit and the breath of God, we have a restoration where we are made whole and we are connected again with our God. And that's because of God's grace. All right. So that would be an example of using this trick for the children's sermon. So how do we do that? Well, we do it by magic. Okay, no, of course, I'm being silly. It's like I said, it's been a long week. So we have the way we do this, and I'm going to teach you this using the rope, and then I'm going to teach it using the twine. This is gardening twine that I mentioned that earlier, gardening twine that we had around the house. This is rope that I have because I do magic, and it's a thick rope. But you can get rope at Kroger's, Fred Meyer's. You can order it off online, but it's order cotton clothesline. And in cotton clothesline, when you get it, there is a core. And now this is like really plush, not plush, but it's not stiff. It's flexible. And the other rope is flexible as well. But if you use the cotton line rope, you cut your length, and it doesn't matter how long it is. You want a good size. I mean, I would basically I would stretch it out from one arm to the other, and then that would just give you enough to work with. But then on that, you pull out that core. You pull out the core, and it just makes it more pliable. You can use it without doing that. It's just a tip, and if you're going to use this type of rope or a cotton rope, it just helps. Anyway, so you've got the rope. And the way we do this is you're going to use, I'm left-handed, so I have the end in my left hand because that helps remind me. If you're right-handed, you can put it on the right hand. But so what you're going to do is you're going to take, and the left hand is going to go underneath this rope, and you're going to go like you're tying it, because you are. And what we are doing is we're making a square knot in the loop. So now you have rope that is hanging down, this long rope here. You're going to bring that up, and with this piece here, you're going to go over and underneath it. And that gives you your square knot, like that. Here, I will do it on the other side, and again, I'm just flipping this over. And so I've got the end here. I bring this around like this. And so I have this piece that's hanging down here. Doesn't matter that another loop is tied in here. I just pretend that this is just an end piece. So here, and I bring this up, and I'm making it go the same direction as the knot, as this other piece of rope, because that's part of the square knot. So you've got here, this will go over and under, and you have the square knot. This will take you a few times of trying it, but when you get the knot that looks like that you know is the right type of knot. If you don't have a knot that looks like that, you'll find out quickly, because when you cut it, you'll really cut it. So you've got this, scissors, and you're going to cut the knot. And the way you can remember which side of the knot to cut is the side that has the end. Because I cut, and I cut right through both of them. There we are. And that just makes, that's just so it looks better. And you don't have to worry about that. That drops on the floor. It doesn't matter, especially if you're videoing it. If you're videoing it, that's great. So again, here, which side do I cut it on? This side here. Because that's the end with the end. The side with the end. You cut that, and you've got here. Now, whatever byplay you want, or however you want to play it, when I take these two ends and I pull it like this, this knot is going to pop off. I'll do it slower on this one. So I slow and I pull, it pops off. And then you have the restoration, and voila. Now, here, on this one here, I've got this, we've got the rope. Now, when you do it with the twine, everything is the same. You got it on the end on the dominant hand. You pull this around, and you're going to tie it the same way, so that when you pull, you have that square knot, and then you're going to cut, and you cut both sides. So you've got this here, and you tighten it up. There you are. But when you go to pull this is not when the restoration happens, because you're going to pull it, and it's going to still be on there, which is fine, because you just don't, when you pull it, that's not when you say the restoration happened. You can pull it and go, see, the knot is really there. Now, you're going to take the rope on your dominant hand, and your other hand's going to come in like this. You're going to clip it. And you are going to use this hand, and you're going to wrap it around this hand. And that's just for looks. You're going to wrap it around, but this hand, when it's clipped, is going to drag. And notice that as it pulls, it is pulling that knot with it. And I'm pulling, and so this is underneath here. As I pull and I wrap, the kids don't see that. The person doesn't see that. But you get to a point, and as you get to this, you're here, and you can either then show that you pulled this off and talk about how God removes the sin from our life, or however this is, or you can just keep that in your hand as you're holding this, and then you bring this back, and it's been restored. As God promised in the Psalm, God has restored you and me through the cross and the empty tomb, and there's that. And then you've got these. But you can either show it, and you do it twice. You can do it twice. I like doing the both ends with the cut, because it shows that it's more than once that we do this. It's not just there we are, but that we mess up again, and we mess up again, and God, through Christ in the empty tomb, and that pulling there. All right. Thank you for sticking with me. This is probably one of the longest children's sermons videos I've done, but if you don't use this for this week, keep it in that knowledge bank in the back, because it is a great children's sermon talking about the restoration. So there we are. Hope you can use it as a springboard for your own thinking and your own children's sermon. I will again record this and record a children's sermon that you can use and put into your online service if you desire to. Just ask that you give credit. So there we are. Peace and blessings, and may I know that you are in my prayers. Your kids appreciate you. The parents appreciate you. So all right, peace, and we'll see you next week.